Welcome to the Swim Swam podcast. I'm today's host, Coleman Hodges, and joining us today, we have 200 freestyle extraordinaire of Australia coming to us today from Tasmania. We get to pick the brain and get the backstory of Mr. Max Giuliani. Max, how's it going?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk to you. There's been a lot of hype around your name for the past few months, so much so that Swim Swam wrote an article titled "Who is Maximillion Giuliani of Australia?"
Absolutely crazy.
Because we didn't know until a few months ago. But you've had quite the season. You swam. Specifically, you swam the 200 free at Aussie trials, just missing a team. But then you come to the U.S. Pro Championships at the end of last summer. You win there. You go a huge PB of 146.2. And then you go to the World Cup. You go a little faster, 146.1. And then I don't even know what. Oh, and then you go to the Queensland Championships just last week. And you swim a massive 144.7, approaching Ian Thorpe's legendary Australian record. So it seems like it's been kind of a whirlwind season for you. I'm going to ask a question here in a sec, I promise. But so just to give our listeners some context into the last few months that you've had. So let's start with Aussie trials in June. Were they in June?
Yeah, June.
Okay. Heading into that meet, how are you feeling? Just with the training you'd put in, with your confidence, and did you specifically have that goal of making the world's team?
I mean, absolutely. I had that goal. I fell short, unfortunately. I didn't back in the work enough going into trials, which I think is definitely a big difference with me now. Like I back myself wholeheartedly to get up and lift and do what I need to do to come out on top, hopefully. And it was my first sort of proper taper. So I'd never been in the hole before. I get really deep in the hole. Like I just can't swim, even up to sort of like the morning before. Like I go a max 100 and I go 105. Like I just cannot swim. And I hadn't experienced that before, and I kind of psyched myself out a bit.
Tell me a little bit more about that. I mean, how old are you, Max?
I'm 20.
20. Okay. So, and let's start at the beginning. How long have you been swimming? You said it was your first proper taper.
So I've been in Tassie my whole life. So I swam competitively down here from sort of 11 until, how old was I? When did I move? 18, 19. I've been on the Gold Coast about 14 months now. And yeah, down here was doing a lot of different work to what I am now, and kind of hadn't had that big sort of 3-week taper that Rich gives us. And you had never just felt the hole like I had. I'm pretty good in it now. Going to World Cups definitely helped me a lot. I was in the hole pretty deep there as well. But yeah, the people around me, the older athletes, really kind of gave me some advice, and yeah, I took it on board, and yeah, flying now.
What prompted that move from Tasmania to the Gold Coast?
Yeah, so my old coach, Paul, got a gig at Miami, and it was kind of make or break for me. It was either I stay here, I swim, don't do a good job of it, and I go be a tradie, go be like an electrician or a plumber, or I move to the Gold Coast and I give it one like final really good crack, like put all my eggs in one basket and see what happens. So the first 2 months of that move were like really tough. I was hating it, like just wanted to go home, homesick. It was just a big adjustment to adult life and being away from my friends and my family. I'm very like friend focused kind of guy. Down here, I was seeing my mates almost every single day, and then to go to the Goldie where I had no one, it was just very, very different.
Absolutely. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? How was it different, aside from obviously having your social group with which you're talking to a fellow friend guy? I put a lot of merit and a lot of my eggs in that in my friend group basket, for sure. But aside from not having that support system, how was your daily life different than back home in Tassie?
The training was a lot different. I mean, I loved the training. Always, I love the hard work, love all that kind of stuff. It was just during the day, like I'd get home and just be like, oh, this sucks. I'm missing this. I'm missing that. Like this is better at home. When in hindsight, it wasn't better than at home, but I was kind of convincing myself that it was. And yeah, I kind of gave myself like 2 months. I was sat with my folks and I was like, all right, like uh, 2 months. And if I like it, I'll stay. If I don't like it, I'll come home. And yeah, kind of went on a training camp, sort of a month and a half in, and that really sort of shifted it for me. Kind of got close with the other swimmers, the older guys in the group, like Alex Graham and Jenna Strosh, and Rich. Just yeah, forming those bonds. And once that kind of happened, I was sweet. I was good to go.
Nice. Well, I mean, that sounds like a big turning point. Congrats on getting that. And so then can you kind of take us through that first season, which I guess you're in your second season now, but
Yeah.
that first season, how did you end up adjusting to the training? What specifically was different about it? And then, you're going to your first big trials to try to make a world's team. How do you handle that pressure once you finally get there?
Yeah, so with Rich, it was kind of a fair bit more volume, like a fair bit. I mean, we did heaps and heaps of kick back here. Like every session, we do kilometers of effort kick, which has helped me a lot now. But back then, it was pretty tough. Just more Ks. Like the standards a lot higher. Like down here, I was kind of by myself from the time I was sort of 12. Up there, you got people like Tiggs and just everyone wants a spot. Everyone's fighting for that spot, and I didn't kind of have that environment down here. It was kind of just me, and I could kind of get soft and allow myself back off the pedal a little bit. Where up there, that's just it doesn't stand. Like you're kidding yourself if you're rocking up and you're not ripping in. So yeah, it was just different. Back here, I was doing a lot of sprint stuff as well. Like Paul and I kind of sat down and agreed that I'd do like 6 sessions a week. I'd have a big gym focus, so kind of target the 100 more. Which I did all right while I was down here. I was like 49.6 while I was down here, which is okay. Off 6 swims a week, but I'd kind of go in, just do like a bunch of 100 pace 25s, like some 35s, some like push 50s, not a whole lot, nothing compared to what I'm doing now with like the bigger volume, like a lot of hundreds, like 200s, just yeah, so much more volume. I'm so much fitter.
And then again, heading into trials, I mean, you said it was your first big taper. What do you feel like you're going to take away from that taper, that first taper you had going into those trials?
Just that it's okay to feel a bit average, even if it is sort of the day before. You just got to trust that process. You got to back the work in you've done. I mean, everyone in the group's worked so hard. They've put everything on the line, and if you don't back that work, you're kind of never going to succeed. Or if you do, it's quite rare. You just got to fully back it in, believe in yourself, and just get up and do it at the end of the day, I think.
Absolutely. So then what was the plan always, if you were not to make the world's team, to go to the US Pro Championships?
Absolutely, it was a goal. I thought I was going to make the world's team. I'd put in some like really good sets, really good work, and I was like, yep, I'm on. Like I could sneak on for a relay or something. Unfortunately, missed. Then originally I wasn't even on the Aussie team, the US team. So I was originally going to England. And then I think a couple of swimmers pulled off the Australia A team, and I got the call up and was just so happy. Yeah, straight back into work. Probably did about 2.5, 3 more weeks of work, and then started to taper off again. And it was just different, like different mentality, different approach. And yeah, just keep my foot on the pedal at all times, sort of thing.
Yeah. Can you take me through that meet? What'd you think of Irvine?
Unreal. It was so good. We stayed in Laguna Hills, I think the Hills Hotel. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was sick. It was my first time overseas, first time in America, so it was very different. It was very hot, but no, it was a great time, great experience. Like yeah, awesome meet. Such a good team as well. Everyone did pretty well, which was great. Everyone kind of lifted and performed, which was unreal.
Yeah. And then how did you feel about your performances there overall?
Yeah, I was really happy. The morning before that relay, where I got up and went 146.2 off the front, I was swimming like a dog. Like I was so bad, like missing pace. I think I was going like 27 mids, like 28 for 200 pace in the morning. Like I'm like, oh no. Got a massage, then switched off, came back in, got into game mode, managed to get up and and do that swim. But no, it was such a great meet. Heaps of good competition. Yeah, heaps of stuff I'll take away as well. Some great racing too. It's awesome. You guys all race very, very hard, and there's so much depth in the US as well. There's not a couple of good guys. Everyone's very good, which is awesome.
Yeah. Again, can you tell me a couple of the things you are going to take away from that meet, or just kind of things you learned as you moved through it?
Absolutely. So I had a different coach over there, and she gave me a couple of little tips, which were awesome. Kind of put my head in a bit of a different place. Like when coming to approach like a 200, how to sort of approach the first 50 and that kind of stuff. Just said some words that kind of resonated really well with me. What else? The hard racing. It was hard to get in finals. Just being able to get up in the morning and perform no matter what as well, which is very important, especially coming into the Olympics and that kind of stuff. If you're not on in the morning, you're not getting another swim.
Absolutely. Did just getting used to the international travel and the time change, how was that for you?
Yeah, I wasn't too bad on that one. Like I was pretty much straight on it. I managed to kind of stay up the whole time and did quite well with the jet lag. Sort of like probably day 2 or 3, I was pretty good and ready to go. Sort of the first Monday morning, we were in the training, like in the pool training, I was like just ready to go. So excited to race, which I've got to learn to contain. I just get very, very excited and need to be able to contain that energy from wasting it. Yeah, I'm in a bit of trouble. I get too pumped up sometimes.
So you have a great meet at this Pro Championships, and then you move on to the World Cup. Was that always the plan for you, or how did that come about?
Yeah, so Rich and I had spoke about that like prior to trials. We're like, yeah, we'll do Worlds and then we'll do World Cups. But before the US, World Cups wasn't really in the picture. I wouldn't have got a go or anything. They performed at Aussie, which was great. Went home or back here for a couple of weeks just to reset. Swam probably once in the 2 weeks. Then was like, all right, we'll do World Cups. We'll go over. We'll have a bit of fun. Just like muck around and race and get some more experience. Put in 6 weeks of pretty good training. And then over there with the senior athletes, which was great. It was my first team with like the older guys. I mean, there were some on Aussie, but not compared to World Cups. There's a lot more sort of people that have been on the team for a long time, like Kate and Bronte and like Kaylee and all that kind of stuff, those big names, who have a lot of insight and a lot of knowledge because they've been through it for so long, and just getting the opportunity to kind of listen and take on advice from them was so great. But yeah, wasn't expecting to swim super fast, to be quite honest. Was quite surprised after Berlin. I was like, all right, we're on here. So kind of worked the whole way through. Like we didn't really back off until Budapest. We had like a 2-day drop taper for Budapest, which was good. Again, was feeling pretty average the day before in the hole a bit. And then day 1 managed to get up and throw down a 50 PB, which was really great. Then my 100 was like 48 mid off the front of one of the relays, which was great. And then in the 200, my morning was awesome. I was like, all right, I'm on. Like I'm going to do something good tonight, and just to get up and race against Rapsis, who's so good. His underwaters are unreal, which is another big takeaway for me from those meets, that my skills need to improve, because he was just absolutely dominating me. Like I was getting smashed. But yeah, in that final in Budapest, managed to get up and get over the top of him. 1:45.4, I think I was, which was great. It's a whirlwind. It's happened so quick.
I didn't realize you were 1:45.4 in at the end of the World Cup. Holy moly!
It's been a very big season. Yeah, I was 150 point at the start of the season. Last year at Queensland States was my first time under 150. Actually, I was like 149. 1 or 2 or something. So I've had a big year.
So you've dropped 6 seconds. Yeah, that's congrats.
It's moving to Rich.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow, what a move, and what a gamble on yourself. How cool is it to, like you said, you took that shot. You could have stayed home and kind of stayed in your comfort zone, and you left, and now you get to see the dividends pay off, which, again, just congrats on that. That's great.
Thank you so much. It means so much. It wouldn't be possible. Like I've got the best support team around me. Like everyone back here in Tassie supporting me means so much. Like I wouldn't be able to do it without them. And Rich, like the coaching staff at Miami, the guys at Rackley that support us as well, like funding for our camps and all that kind of stuff. And my psych John as well has been a very, very big player. I think he's really helped me make the shift as well.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your psych? Yeah, just
Mhm.
getting your mental game down.
Yeah, so my folks were really kind of on to me about getting a psych for ages, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Blah blah blah. After nationals in April, I was like, all right, I'll do it. Yeah, so my old man found John. He used to mentor James Magnuson and some other pretty big names. He's a pretty big name in like the rugby down here as well. He's mentored heaps of teams.
Hmm.
And just his approach to it is so much different and so much better than anyone I've kind of ever worked with. I worked with another one prior to him, but we weren't probably the best fit. I mean, unreal psych, but didn't quite mold me. I think you have to shop around for psychs quite a bit. But yeah, managed to get lucky with John and just loving it. Yeah, we're putting in work all the time, really improving that mental game, just backing myself in, believing in myself, and keeping it calm and cool when I need to, and then lifting when I need to as well. It's been massive.
That's really great to hear. Yeah, I mean, more and more, right? We're just I think as worldwide as a society, we're talking more and more about mental health and excuse me, in athletics as well. The mental side of performing at the highest level, right? So that's good to hear.
Absolutely. It's so big. Like if you don't have your mentality down, you will get beaten. I think every time over someone that does have it down. Like it's such a key part. The training's super important, but the mental side of things is also super important. I think.
Yeah, which I would say, kind of folds into the training, right? That is an aspect of the training I think at this point, with where we're at in athletics. But okay, going back to your season, the World Cups, you
Mhm.
like you said, you got to interact with Emma McKeon, Bronte Campbell, Kaylee McEwen. Are there things you felt like you picked up from them outside of the pool? Just being in that World Cup circuit, knowing or learning how to carry yourself in a 3-week travel trip. Were there things that or just you were picking up from the experience in general?
Absolutely. Just watching those guys do what they do, and they've been at the top for so long. You learn heaps. Jenna Strosh was another one I learned a lot from. My teammate, she kind of took me on and mentored me a bit through that trip. But just learning to switch on and switch off, and kind of not expend energy too early. Like we were there like a week before we started racing in Berlin, and I was so pumped up and jacked to race. And she's like, "Maxie, calm down. Like we got a week, mate. Like you got to save this energy." So yeah, just all that kind of stuff, and just like trusting myself again in the hole and that kind of stuff. Almost psyched myself out again, but she was there to really kind of keep me grounded, which was great. But yeah, those guys are all so good, and kind of take on whatever I can from them at any opportunity I get.
Do you have certain things or cues to try to turn yourself on or turn yourself off at those moments? Like obviously listening to music is a huge one, but I'm always interested in how people are able to turn off, right? To kind of get the energy down when the racing is over or before it started when it's too early. How do you kind of calm yourself or ground yourself?
Just kind of got to remember where we're at. I think just remind myself, oh, I've still got X amount of time till I race. Like I got to cool it for 3 or so more days. I've done a bit of meditation stuff as well and like breath work. I find that quite good and visualization. And then in marshalling, I'm not really a big music guy. I kind of just sit there and take it in and just think about how much I kind of love it and how lucky I am to be in that position.
That's a great perspective to have.
Yeah.
So then, after World Cups, can you kind of take me through your fall and what the next 6 to 8 weeks looked like leading up to Queensland Champs?
So got back, took like probably 3 or 4 days getting back into it. I'm not very good at going to training and like going easy though. I hate it. So I was still kind of ripping in a bit. But yeah, then kind of got into a bit of a quality block. Actually, no, we did a few weeks of like aerobic, like building that base back up. I mean, we were still doing 3 or 4K sessions while we were away for World Cups the whole time. We didn't really take the foot off too much, as I said. But yeah, got back some big sets of like descending hundreds and that kind of stuff. Bit of pace stuff as well. And then kind of a quality block. Went on a camp with Rackley, so your Sam Short and your Tommy Neal and Meg Harris and all that kind of stuff to Rocky, which was great. Did some big Ks there, threw down some great sets, which was awesome. Then got back, couple more weeks work, and then into states, but nothing out of the normal really. It'd be pretty typical for everyone, I reckon. Pretty similar.
Yeah. All right. Well, you got Max, Sam Short, Tommy Neal. What are those training sessions like?
It's great. Shorty doesn't really does a 200. I wish I could do the 4 a bit better, so I could go with him in training and that kind of stuff. But the 4 is definitely not my forte. But it's great. Tommy's an animal. Like, he's so good. He's got that speed on demand, and Sam's just got that mentality. He's just so tough and so fit. Some of the Ks I've seen that bloke throw down, the sessions I've seen, are unreal. Like, there's no one that could do that anywhere, not even come close. Like, he'll do some very big things in the next 12 months, I reckon. As will Tommy and Meg. They're all unreal.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Sam Short kind of had his coming out party at Worlds, and we're all kind of like, whoa, okay, Sam Short is here, right? I mean, a gold, a silver by hundredths, and then I think a bronze in the mile.
Bronze in the 15. Yep.
Yeah, in the 15. So it's like, he's. I'm excited to see what he can throw down this upcoming season. Would you? What kind of an athlete would you consider yourself? I mean, are your focus events 50, 100, 200, or is it mostly 100, 200? Where's your head at in terms of event schedule?
Yeah. I try to do the 50. I'm not very good at it. Like, I can only just go 22 sometimes, so I don't quite have that speed yet. I think once I put together a good one, I'll probably do okay, but nothing compared to the other guys who are on top, like Isaac and Cam. The 100, I think I'm quite capable of doing a good time in. I mean, I went 48.2 in America, which is quite good, but to be relevant on the world stage, it'd be 47 low. Rich says the new 47 is 46. So, like, you gotta get up. But the 200's definitely a big focus for me. It kind of fits me quite well. I think I don't have a crazy amount of early speed, but my back end has traditionally been quite good. So it's good for me, the 2.
So then, can you take me through your Queensland Championships? Just again, what you swam, and then how you felt like the races went.
Mm-hmm. So day 1, we had a couple of relays. I did 3 or 4 relays, a couple of 50s, like threw down a few 22s off the front, which was good. Then it was day 2, which was 200 day, which was good. I actually stayed with Sam at Queensland Champs. He's one of my really good mates. So we were kind of having a bit of banter around that. Good heat. I think I was like 47.0, which is all right. Pretty crazy. I was pretty confident going into the night. Went home, had a big nap, massive feeder spag. Sam loves a big feeder spag. We crushed so much pasture. His poor mum, we ate her out of home. And then, into the pool, activated, good warm up, and got up and managed to go 145.7, I think I was, in the individual, which I was quite happy with at the time. Again, I was expecting more. Like, I kind of came into this meet hoping to go 144 from the sessions I put up in the lead up. I was quite confident that I was going to throw down something good. And then, fell a bit short in that one, but I was like, all right, that's all right. We've got to refocus. We've got a chance in the 4x2, which was on day 3, I think. And then, no, day 4 even. So day 2 was 100 free. I was a bit off in that one. I was 48.9. My front end speed just wasn't there. I think I was out in like 24.1 and back in 24.7 or something. So I basically even split it. We had a good battle with Kai Taylor. He just pipped me at the end, but I was pretty happy, like pretty content. Switched off, back home, big sleep. Then was going to do the 50 on day 4, but Rich was like, no, we'll just give it a miss, just have a sleep in, come in, like 2K float, get some treatment, and then focus up for the night, which I did. Exhibition 4x2, the boys were trying to get up and break the Australian club record, which was really, really exciting. We talked it up for a fair bit. So, like, people like Tommy Fraser-Holmes were there, and he was taking the piss out of us all week, being like, oh, you better do it. You've talked the talk. So the pressure was on. Some of the boys didn't have the week they kind of deserved. They've all worked super hard and they couldn't quite put it together. But everyone managed to lift and throw down good times. We managed to break that record, and I was lucky enough to go 144 off the front, which I was super happy about. It would have been awesome to have someone to race on that last 50. I reckon I could have done a bit more, but I'm pretty content with where I'm at now.
How do you how do you feel like you split that race or swam that race? What was your mentality going into that swim?
Yeah, so Rich and I were trying something a bit different in that one, which worked quite well. I was quite happy with it. My first 50 was 24.5 maybe, which is quite good for me. I think with a bit of a proper taper and that kind of stuff, I could be a bit faster. And then I was 6.7 on all the other three splits, which was great. But traditionally, I'm home in like a 6.4, and I think I'm capable of coming home a bit quicker than that even. But to pretty much even split. The back 100 was pretty good, like 53.4s, pretty good on the back 100. I think it's just about, for me, it's just trying to drop that back 100 as much as I kind of can. And that front one will just come with a bit of taper and a bit of rest, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, congrats on a great season again. Just in terms of the 200 freestyle, we've seen it evolve so much, I feel like, just in the last few years, right? I mean, it used to take 144.7 the time you went to win the Olympics and the World Championships nearly, for about 5 to 7 years. And then now all of a sudden several people are going 144 in season, right? We saw David Popovich go 142. It's like we're seeing that event go faster and faster. For you, what do you think it takes to get yourself into an Olympic final, let's say, or just to be competitive with all the other guys who are on that stage right now?
Absolutely. A lot more work, that's for sure. Yeah, a lot of hard work. Nothing like that'll come easy. So I'm just going to have to prepare. This is sort of a mental reset for me being down here before I get back up to the Gold Coast and just lock in. Really, really focus up, put in some great training sessions, and just improve in all those zones I kind of can. My skills are a big thing for me. Luckily, I've got Alex Graham in my squad who's got some of the best underwaters in the world and just absolutely destroys me every day. So it's good to have someone to chase in that sense. But yeah, skills and just more work. I think more work is always the answer. Yeah.
Do you think in a 200 freestyle, do you think it's better to go out fast or to come home fast? What do you think is a better race style for the 200 long course freestyle?
I mean, for me personally, I'm a lot better on the back end than I kind of am on the front end. Like all those other guys are sort of going out in 50-point low, which I'm hoping to do next year and still have that good back end as well. But yeah, for me, it's definitely sort of a back end event. 51 is all right out, but it's not world class by any means. My back end is getting there though, absolutely. So yeah, definitely that back end for me. But yeah, I suppose people prefer to watch people coming over the top as well. It's a lot more entertaining to kind of see someone pick everyone off and come over the top than someone go out and fly and die. I think it's a lot better for the viewers. What do you reckon?
I agree. I mean, I'm always going to love people coming home, like running people down. Absolutely. But, every once in a while you get that race where someone just goes out and then dominates. And that's also fun to watch because of if they're going really fast, you get someone like a Popovich going 142 next to people going 145s and you're just like,
This is unreal. Yeah.
Okay. Here's an opinion or a question I have. What world record do you think will get broken first? Men's 2 free or men's 8 free?
That 8 free one's nuts. That's like Neg split it or something, didn't he? I was talking to Sam about it. Yeah, that's like probably like the craziest world record on the books. Definitely that 2 free. 142.0 is an insane time, but with the way the 200 free is going at the moment, I think absolutely we can expect to kind of see it go at some point. There's a lot of depth in that event, especially internationally now. Like all the boys will lift. I mean, if everyone's kind of in that Olympic final or that high pressure final, someone's going to lift and someone's going to do something good. I reckon absolutely.
Man, I would love to see it. Even if
Yeah.
even if we just start seeing some 143s, right? I mean, that would be really exciting because I think there have only been less than 5 in history or something like that. But
Absolutely. I reckon in the next year we'll start to see a few. Everyone, I reckon, will lift. Yeah, to beat someone like Popovich, you're going to need a 142 every day, if not faster.
Right.
I reckon.
I mean,
at least.
feel like it's your coach, what your coach said, right? The new 144 is 142.
Absolutely. You got to evolve. You got to lift. Yeah, you don't want to be left behind.
Yeah. So, where were you in life and swimming last Olympics? So during, in 2021.
So I was still living down here in Tassie. Kind of wasn't taking it. I mean, I thought I was at the time, but I was kind of kidding myself a bit, saying I was taking it seriously. But had age nationals. I would have been 17, probably. Got back from age nationals. I was like, I might give it up. Went and did a couple of apprenticeship trials. Got offered some jobs, and I was like, you know what? Nah, I'll keep going till trials. Did trials. I think it's a little PB in the 100. I think I was like 50 point something, nothing competitive. And then, got back here, had a bit of a break, and then decided I was going to lock in really hard and try and get on the Commonwealth Games team the year after. And I had a shocker of a trials. It was so far over in all of my events, but I think that comes down to just my mentality. At the time, I was putting in the work. I thought I was putting in the work, whether I was or not, it's another thing. Definitely not the work I'm doing now, but missed. And then kind of was like, all right, I'm going to refocus. Short course, this is my opportunity. And again, just mental, didn't get it done. And then moved to the Goldie and started to improve, and I'm where I am now, which is great.
What do you, in those seasons where you came up short of your goals, what do you feel like was the difference for you mentally? I mean, I know it was, I hear it was mental. What about it? What were you able to switch mentally?
Just the belief in myself, I think. Just really backing myself in wholeheartedly. It wasn't just mental. Absolutely, I put in so much more work with Rich, and we're putting in some great work. Everyone's putting in great work at Miami, and again, none of this would be possible without the support team I've got around me. I owe them everything that I've achieved this year. If I didn't have them, I wouldn't have anything.
That's great to hear. So heading into this Olympic trials, what's the plan for, the first part of your 2024, and how are you feeling knowing that you've got some good momentum behind you?
I'm so excited. I can't wait. I've got to try and switch it off while I'm home. I'm just so excited to get back to the Goldie and just start working really, really hard and doing everything in my power to hopefully break onto that team. But we'll probably take it a bit slower for that first week, getting back into it. And then I kind of guess we'll just be foot on the gas. Richard said he doesn't really want us to fall off over this Christmas period, so I'm still in the pool every day. And so will everyone else. They'll all be swimming through. So that first week, nice and probably easy, less sessions, and then we'll be straight back on. I think we've got a camp with the Rackley guys, so Shorty and Tommy and all those kind of guys coming up in February, which will be great. And then we'll do a bit of racing, probably not as much racing as we did last year. Just really big focus on kind of building that base and getting fit and getting tough and getting strong, and just taper off for trials, and hopefully it all comes together.
Nice. Well, Max, thanks so much again for taking the time to just sit down and reflect and share your life journey with us. I really appreciate hearing about your story so far.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's so surreal to be on the Swim Swam podcast. I couldn't be happier. Thank you so much.
You've been listening to the Swim Swam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take Swim Swam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.